Welcome to another Modbus Pro server tutorial. In this little tutorial we're going to have a look at the data logging function of Modbus Server Pro. In the Modbus Server Pro from version 3.9 onwards, we've got a button here which allows us to open the data log window. The data log function has been available for quite some time through the button Command D, but it is now also available through this button here on the screen, data log. So if we click that button, we get the data log window. The data log window has got a couple of buttons up at the top. When it starts up, it's automatically in record mode, so it will record any data, any Modbus messages that are coming in and out to the Modbus server. But here we've got the ability to stop that recording, and once it's stopped, we've got the ability to start the recording as well. The button here on the left-hand side is a button which pauses the display of the recorded information. So that's particularly handy if you've got a lot of Modbus transaction happening and you just want to freeze the display so you can look at it and investigate without it keeping it scrolling. But it will keep recording in the background, and when you unfreeze it or unpause it, it will continue, it will bring up all the messages that have been stored since you've pressed the button. So let's do a little demonstration here. We use our Modbus client application to simulate a client. I've got a request in here to read holding registers. Starting at register 4, we're reading 2 registers. So if I click this button here, we can now see the data that has been transferred across. So that first one here is our request that come from the client, and the second one is the reply. And obviously that second one, that reply contains the data which has been read from the registers, hence it's a little bit longer. Now if I, let's say I change that to only request 1 register, then we press the button. It's now a little bit less. It's only requested 1 register instead of 2. Let's go a little bit further now and see what happens when we click on the pause button. So here we pause. So now we can see that's surrounded by grey. We're in pause mode. When it's paused and there's another request that happens, like so. That request doesn't come up on the data log, however it is stored in the background. So there could be a number of requests happening, but they are all stored. I'll just change that so we can see a little bit of a change and do another one, and we don't actually see that come up. As soon as we unpause like this, those requests suddenly appear on the screen. So that's the data log. If I just click this button here, that is going to stop the recording altogether. So it's not going to be recorded at all. So anything that goes on is going to be missed now, and you can restart the recording by doing that. Okay, now the next function that has been added to it, the data log has been available for some time. However, the pause and the start-stop buttons have not been. Another function that is completely new in 3.91 is the ability to actually investigate. Let's say we're interested in what exactly the client has sent here. We can click on that, and now we can see the analysis of that Modbus message. So it firstly tells us the transaction ID, which is the first bytes here, is 2. Protocol ID is 0, which means it's Modbus protocol. The length is 6 bytes, so that's that part here, 6 bytes. The unit ID 1, the function Modbus function 3. The starting address is 4, and the quantity that we've got in here, we a quantity of 6 bytes. So there we go. and we're getting the information coming back. So we can click on that, and that tells us what's going on here. It is the response which was sent by the server. Again, we get the same information, and we get the register values as well that we've got across here. So this particular request, as we can see, was a request for 6 registers, and there's 6 registers being returned. So we can go through and have a look at all of those, and we can see the details. This is really good to also learn about the structure of Modbus messages and what they do. Now, for a bit of an exercise here, let's just make a failure happen, and yeah, we're simulating a Modbus exception. We're simulating an illegal address, for example. So the server now simulates an illegal address, so we can go and make that request again, send that, and we haven't actually got that in there. Hang on. There we go. We have now got the reply that says we've got an illegal address. So we go and investigate that, and sure enough, we can see in here that the response was exception code to illegal data address. So there we go. That's one of the ways to analyze what is contained in a Modbus message, and to actually see more detail of the data exchange that happens between the client and the server. And this is all part of Modbus Server Pro version 3.91. So thank you for watching this demonstration. I hope you enjoy your Modbus Server Pro.